You're listening to a Get Abstract summary of Everyday People, Extraordinary Leadership, a book by James M. Kouzes and Barry Z. Posner. Most employees know that people in authority may or may not be good leaders, and often those without formal titles lead the way. James M. Kouzes and Barry Z. Posner believe almost everyone can acquire leadership skills and lead effectively. Drawing on studies and data they've compiled over decades, the authors offer 5 leadership practices you can follow to make a difference. Being a leader requires you to be honest, dependable, innovative, approachable, and respectful. But since you already are all those things, your leadership journey begins on that foundation. Takeaway 1. Build exemplary leadership through your ongoing relationships. Follow 5 leadership practices. Titles don't define leaders. You earn your leadership status through your actions and their effect on other people. The people you interact with every day determine whether you are a leader. Good leaders share a common set of values and professional practices, but not every leader has a lofty corporate title. Leaders practice at every level of an organization, from the executive suite to the customer service desk. People admire people who set a high standard of honesty, vision, competency, and enthusiasm. Effective leadership demands credibility. People have to believe in you before they will listen to you. True leadership is within everyone's grasp. Exceptional leaders, regardless of industry, company, or title, share 5 behaviors that transcend age, gender, and ethnicity. Takeaway 2. Behavior 1. Model the way. Back your words with action. You can't assume a leadership role until you know what you believe, represent, and want to teach. Dynamic leaders demonstrate behaviors they expect others to emulate. The most admired figures in history embraced and communicated their core values. And as history demonstrates, people follow leaders with strong principles. Followers expect their leaders to address such topics as conscience and morality. But you can't speak up effectively if you haven't yet figured out what matters most to you. People align with leaders who are clear about their philosophy. Your values determine your everyday actions and serve as your anchor during challenging times. The catalyst for leadership is caring about something you want to change and being willing to see it through despite setbacks. Crystallizing your values gives you a baseline for making principled rather than rash choices. Those strongly held values inform your decisions, from setting corporate priorities to balancing work and family. Respected leaders embody the shared values of their supporters. People respond best when they see that everyone is playing by the same set of rules and principles. Though consensus is the best approach to establishing fruitful work relationships, you can't expect everyone to agree all the time. Still, you need mutual understanding and acceptance to move forward. Continual disputes over bedrock values perpetuate conflict, while aligning the personal with team values produces extraordinary momentum. Leaders establish their credibility by keeping their word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If your words and actions are inconsistent, people will not trust you. Your actions and your values must align. Storytelling is one of the most effective ways to teach values in action. If providing exceptional customer service is one of your company's stated goals, then praise employees who render good service. For example, highlight the IT specialist who went to a client's workplace to resolve a stubborn server issue. Leaders should seek feedback proactively, but most often they don't due to insecurity. Even a relatively tame comment can lead to anxiety and resentment. Nevertheless, good leaders recognize they must understand how others perceive their behavior. Those who accept criticism and alter their behavior accordingly are more likely to enjoy future success as managers. If you seek precise advice instead of vague feedback, you'll receive better input. People often hesitate to seek input from others for fear of appearing inept. In reality, coworkers view colleagues who ask questions as more competent than those who never ask. So if you'd like to encourage participation during meetings, ask specifically about your efforts to encourage others to contribute to group discussions. Takeaway 3. Behavior 2. Inspire a shared vision. Make the future bright. Leaders create a sense of purpose that gives guidance in the present and inspiration for the future. People want their leaders to talk about exciting possibilities down the road. Verbalizing a mission and a purpose gives meaning to people's work. To cultivate a forward-looking mindset among your employees, plan ahead and imagine what you and your company can accomplish in the future. Recognizing the importance of a vision is different from actually having one. Search inwardly to identify your basic beliefs. Stop moving, turn off your electronics, and spend time each day reflecting and noticing what's going on. Become a keen observer of people's behavior and interactions. What's different today about your workplace and community? What trends are unfolding? Pay attention to what people discuss. What do they like and dislike? What do they believe is standing in their way? You can't force others to see your vision. It must have meaning for them. Organizational progress and growth require a shared common purpose. As a leader, help your colleagues understand why they should support the firm's mission and how they will benefit. People want to make a difference and be a part of something meaningful. Takeaway 4, Behavior 3. Challenge the process. New and different is better. Change calls for a different approach. Leaders should not be afraid to experiment or take risks. Business as usual won't help you or your team. Leave your comfort zone. Disrupt the status quo. Good leaders set the bar high, yet within reach. During good times, being complacent is easy. But personal or professional adversity create a completely different atmosphere. Misfortune forces you to confront who you are and what matters to you. Whether the changes are big or small, they will always reveal something new. People who seize the initiative earn higher leadership marks from their supervisors. Even students view their most proactive friends as superior leaders. In the world of work, colleagues respect those who challenge the status quo, even if the eventual changes are less effective than planned. The intrinsic reward of doing something good and important is a powerful motivator. That's why people become volunteer firefighters, raise money for charity, help underprivileged children, join the Peace Corps, or leave a secure job to start a business. People seeking change typically don't care about power or money. They want to make a difference. But before you make a move, gather all the information you can to inform your goals. When a Saudi Arabian investment firm hired Omer Ali Rao as an advisor to the CEO, Rao examined the company's operating procedures, culture, and politics before he began offering any suggestions to his boss. In his current position with the North American roadside service company, Rao went out on the road with individual tow truck drivers. His observations of their interactions with stranded drivers inspired new ideas about how the company would use technology. Incremental change is more effective and less intimidating than a major overhaul. Initiatives that seem too large and bold can dampen motivation. By building momentum through smaller victories, people can feel secure knowing that mistakes don't mean punishment. Takeaway 5, Behavior 4. Enable others to act. Leadership is a joint venture. Leaders need support, cooperation, and collaboration. This means they must create a positive atmosphere that motivates others. You can't accomplish anything by yourself. You can't lead if you're unwilling to rely on the work of other people. Build trust through openness and commitment. Trusting people cements your relationships with them. Allow them to contribute, make decisions, and take chances. Empathetic leaders help teammates who might be struggling with challenging assignments. Compassionate leaders pay attention when others express concern or hesitancy. They practice active listening by asking questions that convey sincere interest, allowing employees to confide in each other and in their leaders, and create an atmosphere of cooperation and goodwill. People value freedom of choice and will respond favorably when you offer autonomy. If their leaders support them, they will take risks and work willingly, even outside their formal job description. Research finds a direct correlation between self-confidence and performance. In one study, researchers told one group that they could learn decision-making skills through practice. They told another group that decision-making was a matter of intellect. When they presented both groups with theoretical problems, the first group displayed tenacity and worked toward solutions. The second group suffered a crisis of confidence and lost motivation. Takeaway 6, Behavior 5. Encourage the heart. Demonstrate your belief in your coworkers. Leaders are responsible for bringing out the best in others. By publicly acknowledging their employees' hard work and commitment, they instill confidence in their people, knowing that the expectations they express will lift their employees' performances. When people realize what they're capable of achieving, they elevate their personal expectations and reach new heights. Your employees are more likely to become top performers if you give them your support and validation. Use encouraging words and an upbeat approach to transmit your faith in your coworkers, not yelling, scowling, or ostracizing. Be cordial, approachable, and positive. You can't be an effective leader if you hide in your office or tether yourself to electronic devices. You have to remain visible, accessible, and involved. People want to know what you think of their work. Set aside the old notion that managers can't be friends with their coworkers. The process of getting to know others begins with your willingness to be vulnerable. By sharing your aspirations, interests, and personal thoughts, you'll encourage your colleagues to be more open as well. Takeaway 7. Start learning to be an effective leader now. People who work for outstanding leaders are happier and more productive. Employees who have inept leaders utilize only around 2/3 of their ability. That's just one reason that conscientious leaders prioritize learning and developing themselves. Practical learning is the most effective. There's no substitute for experience. Identify people in your environment you can approach for help and advice. Take advantage of workshops, seminars, and self-directed options online.